What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to go over the 4-game slate for Wnba on Saturday. Another 5K to first. It is kind of a split slate. We got one game starting at noon, one at 2, one at 7, and one at 9 Central Standard Time. I really thought they might do a full 4-game slate and then an early slate and a night slate, but haven't posted anything else. Hopefully they do. But first, let's look at my lineup for tonight. I knew Big Mama Steph was going to be really popular, so I pivoted to Carrollton. It's not looking great right now because Big Mama is playing some ball. But, I mean, if you're going to try and ship some of these big tournaments, 5K to first, I mean, obviously, you win some, you lose some. Atkins really struggling tonight. I mean, I got her at 23%. Sykes got hurt right away. If you played her, I'm sorry. That just sucks. I hate to lose that way. Carrington having a great game, 46%. AT really is starting to come on. She started really slow. Is massive chalk, obviously. Playing Skylar Diggins-Smith because everyone should. Fee. So we'll see how I end up. Really going to depend if Carrollton gets extended. If she somehow outscores Dolson, you may see me way up towards the top if Atkins turns out to have a good game for the rest of this one. Let's look at the odds for the 4 games tomorrow, and then we'll go through team by team from there. Fever at Liberty, 14-point spread. We just saw this matchup on Thursday night. The Fever just looked outmatched on both ends of the floor. Their offense is just abysmal right now. I don't know what they need to do, but they have got to figure something out. Over under 168.5. Sparks at Aces, this is a 19.5 point spread. Over under 165.5. Sky at Wings, 8-point spread, over and under 169. And the Dream at the Mercury, 1.5 point spread, over under 170. That's a great late night hammer where not much defense will be played. But let's go back over here and go team by team and see what we can find here. Boston to lead it off for Indiana, 9,600. She just hasn't looked good. It looks like she's regressed from last season. I do like 15 shot attempts in this last game. She just doesn't look comfortable on the floor. I don't know what it is. She looks slow. She doesn't look to have the same decisive offensive game as she had last year as a rookie. But she scored a lot of her points on pick and pops with Caitlin Clark. And why they don't do that more often, I don't know. 9,600, she's a good tournament play. There's going to be a lot of them. I love the 4-game slates because it's a whole lot easier to get different on. Caitlin Clark has been a bust in her first 2 games. She is going to absolutely nuke a slate. It's just guessing when she's going to. We just saw New York, how they defended her. She only took 8 shot attempts, 1 of 7 from 3. She did pitch in the peripheral stats, which is good to see. I mean, she's always in play for tournaments. Just with her scoring upside, and if the peripherals are there, I mean, she can win you any GPP you enter. Nalissa Smith bombed hard against the Liberty. I kind of called it. I was way off her. I just think there's major foul concerns with her guard and Stewie. And she just looks uninterested. Like, playing defense, it's like she just doesn't care. She also got semi-benched again. Let's look at this game here at the rotations, if it'll load. Let's see. Nalissa Smith, she sat the second half of the second quarter and the whole middle of the third quarter. The middle of the third quarter is kind of what you expect rotation-wise. But sitting the back half of the second quarter, that's not good. She should play the whole second quarter. But that's concerning that they're not shy to pull her. That's really concerning. She has a high ceiling. when she's knocking her shots down and she's contributing on both ends of the floor. Kelsey Mitchell, no thank you. No thank you. 1 of 7 shooting. She's going to go out and just pop tomorrow, and I'm going to be so tilted. The minutes are ticking up for her. Eventually she'll take over the starting job from Erica Wheeler, but I was not high on her after they drafted Caitlin Clark. I just don't think she has very much use for this team anymore. Erica Wheeler, not really interested in her at 6,300 if she's just going to split time with Kelsey Mitchell. Her ceiling just isn't there on a 4-game slate. Katie Lou, she shot 4 of 5. She attempted 5 shots, but she pitched in nothing else. She scored 10 points, and that is it. At 5,800, there's just better plays when there's 4 games out there. Christy Wallace, no thank you. Grace Berger almost got left out of the rotation until the blowout happened. Lexi Hull played a little bit. Really not anyone here. You can play Fagbinley because she's going to play minutes. I think 12 to 15 minutes is her floor every night. She's going to play the backup 5, and there are foul concerns with Aaliyah Boston and Alyssa Smith. She's fine at 4,300. I wouldn't expect a lot, but, I mean, she does have some upside at that price point. Nobody else on the team that I would consider. Moving on to the Liberty, Stewie went absolutely nuts, showing the upside that she has, 61 fantasy points. And she left some fantasy points on the table. I mean, she didn't play the final... she didn't play the final 7 minutes of the game. Now, granted, she was probably going to come out for 3 minutes, that 2 or 3 minute stint until the timeout hits. So she probably missed 5 minutes and could have went for an 80 bomb. Obviously, great spend up. Every time she's on the slate, they can't guard her. I've made my feelings clear on Alyssa Smith's defense. It's pathetic. And then if they pulled Alyssa, they're either going to put Fagbinley or Katie Lou, which their defense isn't much better. John Quell, 2 really, really good games. And what is very important is the last game against Indiana, it wasn't the scoring that did it for her. She pitched in the peripherals and got 3 blocks. She looks fully healthy. That price point is solid on her. Sabrina really struggled shooting the ball to start the game. The 6 of 14 mark isn't that bad for someone of her ability. Only 14 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. She has big upside to win a tournament any given night. Sloot has not been great to start the season. She had a better game against Indiana. She's fine at 8,100. Have no issues playing her. Benajelani, she's fine. I think the price is a little too steep for 4 games. Shot 3 of 10. She's a 3-and-D. They're going to put her out there to defend Clark, and if she scores, she can pay that off. She's just not someone I'm really considering. The bench is nobody I'm considering on a 4-game slate. Nobody's going to play enough to really matter. Moving on, we got the Sparks and Aces. Start on the Sparks side. Dearica Hamby, 9,900. I told everyone in the Discord that 8,900 was too cheap for her. Her usage has been just outworldly this season. And, 15 shot attempts. The 3-ball looks great from her. If she's going to knock down 3, she's going to be a fantastic DFS option. She's also going to play just insane minutes. 38 minutes. She rested for, I believe, 1 minute in each half. Let's see. She rested. Actually, no. She missed the first 2 minutes. Minute and a half of the second quarter. She rested for 30 seconds at the end of the first. She played the entire second half. No breaks. Her minutes are so secure. This team trusts her. It is a revenge game if you buy into that narrative. She just has massive upside and a floor that is going to be solid. The price is getting up there, but it's going to keep some people away. I'm perfectly fine going back to her. Stevens is still out. Clarendon with the most random 11, 10, and 10 triple-double on 6 shot attempts. Played 30 minutes. Don't expect a triple-double again. Price is a little steep for her, but she's fine if you think she's going to pitch in on the peripherals. She's just not going to take many shots. Brink, 7,800. She had a pretty good debut. She did have some foul concerns. I was worried about that. Only she lost some minutes due to it. She missed a ton in the first quarter. I mean, they set her for the final 6.5 minutes and didn't bring her back until a little under the 6 or a little above the 6-minute mark. So she missed out on quality minutes there. The foul concerns are always going to be there with her. She will be guarding Kia Stokes, though, so the foul concerns aren't that big of a deal to me here. If you think she can pop, Stokes' defense is pretty good. I don't mind her as a contrarian tournament option. Lexi Brown is going to play big minutes, played 34 minutes. She is really score independent, so take that as you will. Kia Nurse, just not someone I ever really advocate playing, but 16 shot attempts is 16 shot attempts. That's a lot of usage, and 32 minutes. I was not expecting that. She's a fine play at her price. Rakia Jackson didn't play as much as I thought she might. 18 minutes. She did get 10 shots up. She's fine. I think as the season goes along, she's going to get more playing time. Nobody else really down here I have much interest in. McDonald, 10 minutes, didn't do much with it. Cook come in, only played 6 minutes. Nobody else down here is really worth your time. Moving on to the Aces. This is a team that is always worth your time, no matter what the slate is, if it's a showdown, whatever. Asia Wilson, fresh off a 62 bomb against Phoenix, gets another really good matchup. We just saw Tina Charles absolutely eat against the Sparks. So Asia Wilson, most expensive player on the slate, worth every penny. 10 of 22, 30 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Got stock upside, 3 blocks and a steal. Love her at the top. Jackie Young at 10-7 with no Chelsea Gray. Looks really good. I mean, 6 of 16, played 36 minutes. That's huge. If the game is close, the Aces are going to play their starters a ton. 23, 7, and 6 with 5 stocks. I mean, she's going to get the stocks where Kelsey Plum is more likely to score. Plum played 38 minutes, shot 8 of 20. The shots were there. I think she's due for a big rebound. I love the price on her. Alicia Clark is fine. She's not a great fantasy point per minute player, especially on a team that's just the usage is dominated by all the top talent that they have. She's fine. 6,500 isn't that bad of a price for her. She's going to play big minutes, so don't mind her. I really thought they'd play Gustafson more off the bench. Only saw 15 minutes. Until she starts playing more, I really can't recommend her. Stokes is 5,400. She played 23 minutes, 5 fantasy points. She's just not asked to do anything on offense. That's why I think Gustafson should be starting. Everyone else here, no interest in. Moving on, Chicago and Dallas. For the Chicago side, Mabry had a great game in the opener facing her former team and shot 6 of 16. If she's going to pitch in with 9 rebounds, she has big upside because any given night she can get hot from 3 and really start just piling them on. So love her. 9,300 will keep some people away. Ewell, 8,200. It's about the price range where I'm okay playing her. I just don't see a lot of upside in her, so it's tough. She's a decent contrarian tournament play, not much more than that. Dana Evans, 7,900, shot 3 of 12, still had 25, almost 26 fantasy points. Don't mind her at 7,900. I really like her game, and the coaches do too. So I expect 30 minutes a night from her. Perfectly fine option if you land on her. Reese, 7,300. The shots are there. The shots are there. The free throw percentage is abysmal. She's going to get to the free throw line. The nights that she pops, it's going to be because she makes her 4 to 8 footers and makes her free throws, because she likes to play bully ball, so she can get down low and get position. I don't mind her as a tournament play. DeShields had a solid game. At 7K, it's a bit steep. She shot 7 to 12. Don't see that happening again. The peripherals weren't there, which is really surprising. She's okay, I guess. Not much interest in Wnba. I mean, 16 minutes, 3.5 fantasy points. Yuck. Brianna Turner, I've made my thoughts on her very clear. 13 minutes, 3 fantasy points. She is just obsolete on offense. She offers no upside on offense and is really out there for her defense. So you're just hoping you get blocks and steals with her, I guess. 5,600 on a 4-game slate. No thank you. No thanks in Lindsey Allen. Just not someone I'm ever just advocating or running to play. Kennedy Carter, 15 minutes, only had 2 field goal attempts. Still scored almost 14 fantasy points. This is somebody that, if you're trying to fit in some stars, I don't mind playing her. She is typically more aggressive on the offensive end. Really don't mind her. She's not like a slam dunk play, but she is going to be very low owned and has potential to pop. And if she's playing well, they may stick with her. Like that, it would not shock me to see her close if she's playing well. On the Dallas side, there is a lot of news. Obviously, Sabali's out until the Olympic break. Nat Howard broke her foot during the game, so she's out 3 to 6 weeks. Jaylen Brown decided to get the procedure on her nose. She's out for at least a week. This team is very, very short-handed. They did bring in Monique Billings. She's not in the player pool. I imagine they'll put her in the pool. If they don't, I imagine she's going to play some. But if they don't put her in the pool, it's not really that big of a deal. Big T, 11K. That's a giant jump from 9,700. When she's out there, she's going to dominate. When she wants to dominate, there is nobody that's going to stop her. She's a big old girl, and she knows how to use it. Don't mind her. She's going to be low owned at 11K. But with Howard and Sabali out, there is a ton of usage to go around. They will need Big T at the top of her game. Speaking of someone at the top of their game, Arike Wnba shot 23 field goal attempts in the opener. She went 10 of 23, had 7 assists, which is huge for her. She has absolute slate-breaking, nuke everything upside, and is going to have even more usage with Howard being out. Love her for tournaments. She can burn you on any given slate, but she can carry you to the absolute promised land on any given slate as well. Maddie Siegrist, I was on her all day, and of course, Uzan got announced as a starter. I pivoted to her. Maddie played great in 18 minutes. I expect her to start with Jaylen Brown and Nat Howard out. Put up 26 fantasy points in 18 minutes and had foul concerns. She picked up 2 fouls immediately and lost minutes. She looks pretty good. The price tag will scare some people away. I'm expecting Dallas runs their starters into the ground. That's what they're known for. And with them being shorthanded, I could see Maddie pushing for low 30s minutes. No questions about it. Kalani Brown, there's an outside chance they start her with Big T. I don't think they will. I think they like Kalani coming off the bench. The minutes just aren't there. She's going to play every minute that Big T isn't on the floor. They won't run them together. So if Big T gets in foul trouble, Kalani could get there. Moving on. We got Uzan up to 5,200. She shot 2 of 8. I love that she played 27 minutes. She was on pace for a whole lot more. She's fine. I don't think she's a must. Sheldon really struggled with foul concerns. Come into the game, immediately picked up 2 fouls, lost out on minutes. I'm really high on her for the future. I just don't know how long it's going to take her to adapt on the team. Suarez is someone I expect them to start tomorrow at 4K. I'm really high on her. The only problem is this is one of the late games. If you bet on Suarez starting and she doesn't, there's not many pivots to make with only one game after it. You're hoping a lot, but I do believe they start Suarez. I believe they go Uzan, Wnba, Segrist, Suarez, and Big T. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I have been right probably more times than I've been wrong. So would obviously like her at 4K because the only big that they have behind her is Monique Billings and then Kalani Brown. Those are the only 2 bigs that are left unless they just want to go small ball. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Would love her. She would be the best value on the slate if she was to start. It's just a risk if you're willing to take it. I mean, we're here to win tournaments, right? Moving on to the last game on the slate, Atlanta at Phoenix. We'll start on the Atlanta side. Ryan Howard, 41, almost 42 fantasy points, shot 9 of 16. She's another one that has slate-breaking upside. Pretty much every time I've won a lot of money on WNBA DFS, I can thank Ryan Howard. That's why I have a jersey of hers. She's one of my favorite players. She has massive upside. Her usage is always going to be there in this offense. They want to run the offense through her. She's a great tournament play. She's always lower owned on these bigger slates. Tina Charles got a massive price increase, almost 2K, after the nuke that she put down. This is the Tina Charles. This is what Tina Charles does. 32 minutes. That's a really good minutes idea for her. If she's going to play 32 minutes, I will pay $9,800 for Tina Charles. The only problem is, every now and then, she can get upset and lose it. And it runs her for the night. But shot 9 of 14. She took a year off and looks as good as ever. Don't mind her at that price point. I told everybody in the Discord that Tina Charles was going to take away from Cheyenne Parker. And not many people believe me, but it did. And she only played 24 minutes. She did not look very good out there. Obviously, it's the first game of the year. Anything can happen. But you also got to remember, if she's only playing 24 minutes, what are they going to do when they play a small ball team like Phoenix? They're going to play her off the court. So she's someone that I'm not high on. 9,500, I'll probably just stay away. I don't expect Canada to play. If she does, I'm probably not much interest at 9K because she just hasn't played in the preseason. I'm sure she would be on a minutes limit. Alicia Gray bombed hard. 29 minutes, shot 4 of 12. The peripherals just weren't there, and that's where she makes her money. She's going to score a decent amount every night, but that's not her thing. That's Ryan Howard's thing. So 8,500, she's a solid contrarian option. No real interest in Nia Coffey at that price. I can't with Tina Charles there. Haley Jones, 5,400. She played really poorly in the first half and then turned it on in the second half. 26 fantasy points. Don't mind her at 5,400, assuming Canada's out and she starts again. Dangerfield saw 16 minutes. She was fine. I mean, fantasy point per minute. So she's going to get a decent amount of run off the bench. Not much interest in Nas. I mean, she was a fantasy point per minute player on opening night, but that is not what she has been in her career. I mean, she was 2 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal. I just don't think that's sustainable for her. Powers is someone that I could see getting extended off the bench if they go small. and played 12 minutes. Shot 0 of 3. The deal with her is she's going to shoot it. She is going to demand usage when she's on the floor. She is not prone to passing the ball. She likes to shoot it. So someone to keep an eye on, especially if they decide to go small ball with Phoenix, because Phoenix absolutely will. Speaking of Phoenix, Kalia Copper, 8,800. She had a good game. The usage was there opening night. Excuse me. They kept that game a lot closer than I thought they would. Played 30 minutes, 19, 4, and 4. Don't mind her as a contrarian spend up. Natasha Cloud really surprised me. I was not a fan of this signing. As soon as they signed her, I didn't mind it. They traded for Kalia Copper. I was not a fan of it immediately. Played 34 minutes, shot 5 of 15, but got the peripherals. If she's going to pitch in 7 assists and pitch in some rebounds, it's all about the scoring with her. If she's going to score at a decent clip, she's going to pay off this salary more times than not. Don't mind her as a contrarian option. She's always low owned. DT, 8,300. This is the upside DT brings. She's one of the most prolific shooters in WNBA history. Shot 7 of 11, 8 of 14 from the floor. She's just not going to do much else. She's just a scorer. She's not going to play much defense. She's going to get her a couple good hard fouls. 3 rebounds, 0 assists. I mean, she's pretty scoring dependent. 8,300 is pretty steep. She's a fine tournament play, in my opinion. Rebecca Allen, 7,600 is really steep, and she's questionable with her back. I'm not sure if she's going to play or not. They may be precautious with her. If she does play, I don't mind her. Saw 33 minutes, 5 of 13. She can get really hot from 3 and put up a big score. She is going to stuff the stat sheet. She's a great rebounder, great defender. Don't mind her if she plays. No interest in Sug Sutton. She just doesn't have upside when she's on the floor if everyone's healthy. If all the guards are healthy, I should say. And with Cloud and Copper there, they're just going to eat all the usage that she has up. Natasha Mack is a fine play. If you played her, if you were waiting on Birch to be the starter and you were able to pivot to Natasha Mack, congratulations. She played exceptionally well. I was very impressed with her. She only scored 2 points and put up 25 fantasy points. Obviously, 3 blocks and a steal help, but the 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Don't mind her at 6,800. But she did not close. That is something to keep in mind. They will close small. They just won't play her. Natasha Mack, she saw a 3-minute rotation in the fourth quarter. That is all she played after leaving with 3.5 to go in the third quarter. So just keep that in mind. She only played 19 minutes. The usage was very low. But, I mean, obviously on a team like this, she's not out there to score. Sophie Cunningham played good minutes off the bench, 26. Didn't shoot it very much, which is surprising. She's a good 3-and-D player. At that price, I'm probably fading. Just not enough usage to go around. But that wraps up the slate. As always, if you enjoyed the content, leave a like. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have any lineup questions or just want to chat. I always read all the comments and answer as many as I can. And we'll see you guys on the next one.